Good day, everybody. I always talk about light as a stimulator or as an effector or a trigger of some sort that either wakes you up or can prevent proper relaxation and proper sleep in the evening. And I've mentioned it sometimes, but I haven't gone into any detail because obviously my page is home light therapy. It's not about temperature, but today I'm going to talk about temperature and how temperature can be not a trigger but a mediator of that circadian rhythm. For example, if it's too hot, your body will struggle to feel relaxed. It might feel exhausted. That is absolutely possible because it's too hot. But in terms of melatonin, in terms of circadian rhythm, heat and body temperature are very good mediators of it, i.e. you can trick your body, kind of, I don't like the word trick, but you can suggest to your body that it carries on thinking that it's more daytime, or you can do the reverse. And if we think about it, our lowest body temperature is around kind of 4 in the morning. Now that has individual variation, of course, but that slowly rises throughout the day until somewhere probably around anywhere from between maybe 3:30 to 6:30, probably between 4 and 6. If we say between 4 and 6, again, there is a lot of variation in this. There's also variation between the sexes, and slight variation as to how big a change in terms of your menstrual cycle if you're a female. So that's something interesting to pay attention to. But what we need to understand by that is we can help speed up circadian rhythm, or we can delay it. So for example, if you had a very cold dip or a cold shower late at night, you might think that decreases body temperature, and therefore would make you more likely to have a good restful night. And because that's what we're looking for, we're looking to decrease body temperature as we get into bed and sleep. And then as body temperature starts to rise, we wake up. Hence why we have our lowest body temperature about 4, and then it starts to rise and we wake up any time from, well, for me it's around 6, for other people 7, other people 8. And so people think, okay, if I have a cold shower at night or whatever, or a cold shower or a cold dip at night, then that will lower my body temperature. But actually the reverse is correct. For that momentary shower, yes, you do cool down, but what happens is you have a lot of vasoconstriction, which is the blood vessels in and around your skin constrict or get smaller, and that keeps a lot more of the body temperature inside. But at the same time, you trigger an increase in body temperature because your body decides, oh my god, it's getting cold, I need to increase that body temperature, and therefore you have an increase in body temperature and not a decrease that you want. So some people, what they do is they have a sauna late at night, like 2 hours before bed, or they'll have a shower before bed, or they'll have a bath. Do you ever, when you were a kid, have a bath before bed? Now what that does is it creates huge amounts of vasodilation, which is the opposite of vasoconstriction. So instead of the blood vessels getting smaller, they get bigger, they get wider, and that means you lose a lot more of your body temperature through your skin as you get out afterwards, and that drops your core body temperature and makes it easier to go to sleep. And so if we know that, we can start to adapt certain environments again to improve our circadian rhythm. The other great thing, and now you've got to be pretty strong-willed, is that if you do these cold things, if you do like cold showers or cold dips, etc., etc., early on in the morning, what you do is you speed up the increase in temperature that would happen throughout the day. Now, this means that you're more likely to get a melatonin spike slightly earlier, But it also means that your body will anticipate the same thing happening the next day, and therefore make it easier for you to wake up earlier the next day. So if you know you've got a few days of early shifts coming up or whatever, if you have a cold shower on the day before, then it will make it easier for you to wake up the next day. Now again, there are various triggers, light, etc., eating, that can affect that, but temperature is a fantastic way to mediate circadian rhythm by allowing yourself to get cooler in the evening. So we try and make it cooler in the evening where possible. Now, with the days over 30 degrees during the day, it's not always possible. Therefore, we need to really do what we can. So, as I say, I when it's warmer out like it is now, I tend to have a warm shower about an hour, half an hour to an hour before bed, and that allows my core body temperature to drop down, and I'll put fans on in the bedroom. And another little sneaky tip, as it were, is when you get warm, one thing that you'll see people do is they'll put a cold flannel around their neck. And what you need to understand is when you put a cold flannel around your neck, it does immediately feel good, but it's sending the wrong signal to the hypothalamus, which is just around where you're putting it. Because that sends a signal that it's getting cold, and therefore actually what your hypothalamus does is says, okay, we need to increase body temperature, and so it actually makes you hotter in the long run. So what you can do instead is you find the 3 places where you have no hair. Now, a lot of people have no hair anyway, so what I mean by is that where there's never been any hair growth. Number 1, on your hands, the palms of your hands, the bottom of your feet, and then for most people, anywhere from the cheeks up are areas where there's been no hair growth, and they have a very special connection with heat dissipation or heat loss, because they also have an area where instead of the blood going into smaller and smaller vessels called capillaries, they skip that area and they go from arteries or arterioles into the veins. Now, this allows you to dump a lot of heat, particularly quickly if you need to. So what they've done is they've done these trials and these tests on people where if you have a cool, you can put cool things in your hands, or one hand and one foot, and you will lose a lot of body heat through those areas. Now, so what I do in the evening now is I make sure that there is a fan on my feet. Now, some people don't like fans on the rest of their body because it makes them feel cold, or they might feel that they get a little bit congested. And so what I do is I end up putting a fan that's on my feet. That way, I know that I get a lot of heat dissipation or heat loss through my feet throughout the night, and therefore I can lower my core body temperature even when it's hotter outside. So, as I say, you don't want them too cold, because that'll do the same thing as, say, like a cold shower, which is the vasoconstriction. So if you have ice cubes in your hand, that might lead to vasoconstriction, where you'll lose less heat through your hand. You want something cool rather than cold. Cool rather than cold. But I hope that helps in terms of temperature and what we can do in order to improve our circadian rhythm. So we want to be cooler in the evening. And so for me, that is a hot shower, or a hot or a warm shower in the evening, about 30 to 45 minutes before I go to bed, which allows my blood vessels to dilate, and then I lose a lot of body temperature, which lowers my core temperature, which means I'm ready for bed. I can also put a cold shower in the morning. Now, I say you've got to be pretty strong-willed to have a cold shower in the morning, but it can work. And that's really good if you know you've got to get up early for work the next few mornings, because what it does is it creates an anticipatory response that allows you to wake up earlier the next morning because it's expecting the same kind of thing. So we can do that, and it also accelerates your circadian rhythm, so it means that you are more likely to be able to fall asleep later on. But again, that can be offset by having too many lights on, by watching too much TV on your phone, etc., etc. So there are a lot of things that we can do that can help improve our circadian rhythm, help improve our sleep. And again, if we improve our sleep, we improve our immune function, we improve our blood sugar control, we improve our inflammatory response, we improve our memory, we improve our health in general, we improve our energy, we improve our mitochondrial function. So understanding how important sleep is and how important circadian rhythm is vital. And hopefully these little tips about temperature can give you just one extra little string to your bow in order to improve one aspect of your health. Have a great day, stay healthy, as always, get enough light, and